What's up, YouTube? It's the Overrated Gamer, and welcome to a video series called Is It Overrated? Where I bring you guys different video games that you can play, whether they're free to play or not, and I give you my seal of approval whether it is actually a good way to spend your time, or if it's just an overrated game, you should leave it off to the side. So the first episode here is now with Arctic Combat. Arctic Combat is a free-to-play first-person shooter that you can download off of Steam. Maybe they have a website. I'm not 100% sure, but you can check it on that. It's called Arctic Combat. I'll leave the name down below so you can see it. And it is a first-person shooter that kind of reminds me a little bit of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 1, and then Counter-Strike. So these games, this game is actually it's a very arcadey shooter. It's not a Battlefield. It's not a slow, like, clunky. You're moving, you're going, you're not stopping pretty much the entire time. And what I wanted to bring you guys is telling you guys when I was playing it, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but when you get used to the mechanics, it's a very good game. It's a free to play, so they don't give you many weapons to start off with unless you want to start spending a bunch of money. So I personally didn't have many weapons until level 5. At level 5, I've got I actually only gained one weapon. It was a submachine gun, and you'll see that later on. But the game it's a very high action, very fast paced, and I enjoy it. I do like that part of the game, that it's not like a shooter where for a free to play, it's very good mechanically. It has a great what's it called? It's not a operating system. It is a engine. It's a great engine. The engine is very reminiscent of Call of Duty, so if you've ever played Call of Duty 4, you'll know how this game is. What my problem is I'm showing you here is the way you find the game you want to play. The games you want to play, half of them are like knifing only, the other half are like sniper only, and then you get into occasional team deathmatch. And there are a few games to pick from, as you can see, but the issue here is that I live in America, and if you live in America, this is going to be for you. I can't say on whether about Europe or any other part of the world, because I can only speak on for America. And in America, the only servers that are actually like busy and actually have people in them is the West. In the West Coast servers, they have servers. Everywhere else, there's maybe one other person with you in the whole server. So the game isn't too alive. But if you go to the first West Coast server, it's pretty packed. So if you're living on the East Coast, guys, this game's gonna be pretty laggy. I'm sorry. These are 90% of these clips that I'm showing you right now are from the West Coast, and even some of them are pretty laggy. So you can tell that there's a little bit of networking code that's a little bit off, and they're not going to really change that too much, seeing how it's a free-to-play. They kind of just wanted to put it out there and see if you guys liked it. Some companies put out free-to-play games just as like a tester, like to see what kind of like how they can improve on a game if they want to make one that's not free-to-play. So these are some free-to-play games, and what they first give you off as weapons is a regular old like assault rifle, nothing fancy, nothing special, and a sniper. One thing I didn't like about in this game though, with the weapons, is that you cannot change out your secondary. For some reason, if you have a pistol and you wanted to pick up someone else's like main, you can't do that. It just disappears until you pull out your main gun. So it's not like Call of Duty where you can have two mains, two like primary weapons, and then no secondaries. It's not like that. You have to have one secondary, one primary, and even on the sniper class, you don't even get a pistol to start off with. So half the time, it's pretty confusing when you shoot a guy and you only get a hit marker. And if you're used to playing Call of Duty or another first-person shooter that allows you to do something like this, you end up only trying to pull out a pistol, but nothing really happens. So this right now is, I decided to put a full game so you guys can see how long the games go and everything. It's about a 10-minute game, or maybe like a 5-minute game or so. Actually, no, it's 10 minutes. I'm sorry. It's a 10-minute game, which is about as long. It's very if you've ever played Call of Duty, it's very reminiscent of that. There's about 10-minute team death matches, which is pretty good, seeing how there's not that many players playing. And the weapons are very fast to kill if you get your lock on. It's not as fast as Call of Duty, but they're pretty fast. Now another thing is, with this game, a lot of the game modes you gotta watch out because the only way you can level up is with a is when you're playing actual people. Because in this game you do have a bot option where you can play bots. And a lot of people set that up, like the host will set that up because maybe there's not a lot of people online, and some people do like to play this game as their main game. So since there's not that many people online and they have to set up for bots, you don't get the same experience as you would if you wanted to set up for, let's say, against people. Because if you set up against people, they give you like wins, losses, more experience. If you play against bots, I think it's like a fourth of the experience they give you. It's not very much. So this game, this match I'm playing here, I use the MP5 and I use the sniper, so you guys can see a little bit of variety within the weapons. I like the whole like big like flashing. This is your points. These are your kills. See how in Call of Duty they just give you like it says like unless you do something special, it's like here's like 50 points per kill, 50 points per kill, 100 points per kill, 100 points per kill. This one's only 10, and you can get assist points like that. But for the 10 you get, it gives you like a little medal. It tells you like how it's a headshot. It does have your kill feed up in the right hand corner, which you take some time getting used to if you're a very avid Call of Duty player like I have been. It took a little bit of time to get used to that, seeing how I'm used to it being on the bottom left. So on the bottom left, this tells you like who's joined, who's left, all that noise. And in this game, because in Call of Duty they put those two together, in this game they separated them. So in this match, these matches I think they go to like I'm trying to remember. It's only 10 points. You gotta remember that. So the point increment's only by 10, but I think it goes. I think it's like oh god, I think it's like 50 kills, or like not even more than that. I think it's like maybe I think it's actually a lot more than that. You can get some high scoring gameplays in this game if you really get down to it. And the issue is though, if you're playing this game and the main part is if you're playing this game and you have some issue with trying to figure out how you're going to go, what kind of weapons you're going to use, you don't get the variety. You don't get that whole, in Call of Duty, everything just starts unlocking one after another, like, oh, I got this assault rifle, oh, I got this machine gun, oh, I got this sniper. No. You get one sniper, you get one assault rifle. If you're lucky, you'll be able to get a submachine gun. The main problem is, with this, you'd only get two classes. So, if you unlock a submachine gun, you can't have that assault rifle, or you can't have that sniper. So it's such a like a trade-off, and the whole point of this game, and the reason why it's like that, you pay $60 for Call of Duty every year, which is a ripoff, and I'll go on that in a different episode. You pay $60 for Call of Duty every year, and then you don't have to play anything for this one. So the way they get your money is that you buy new weapons, you buy weapon slots, you buy grenades, you buy all this kind of stuff. But in Call of Duty, they already have your money, they already have the ka-ching, they don't really care. They're like, yep, here's all your crap, we don't even want to fix it at the time. So this game, I did play on the East Coast, on the West Coast server, and I'm letting you know, guys, if you honestly, if you don't have, if it's like, let's say you live in England, this is for Europeans, I don't know, let's say there's an England server, I don't know if there is or not, but let's just say, and the only server that's busy, let's say, is like in Russia. Let's just say the Russia one is the one that's busy, and if you guys didn't know, when you're playing a first-person shooter or an online game, you want a busy server. Especially if there's a host, and not just actually playing off a server, but there's an actual host. You want a busy server because that means the more people in there, the more likely you are to have a better connection because you're going to be able to connect to a better host. So, in this game, they actually have a good amount of people on the West Coast, but when you're on the East Coast, how many people are hosting a West Coast server on the East Coast? It's none. The host does flip around. You don't have to like request to be the host. It just gives you the host if everybody leaves and you're the next best connection. It'll give you the host. So that's the thing about that. If you're on the East Coast, they're never going to give you the host unless everybody quits out. And then when everybody quits out and a bunch of new people join in, they're going to quit out again because this connection's crap because you're on the East and they're on the West. So unless you have an amazing connection or a very low ping, you're going to have to either deal with the lag or not play this game, or you could just go on with you have to really deal with the lag. I tried sniping, and for a sniper, you shouldn't get that many hit markers, and you get hit markers. Yeah, you really do. So that's an issue. That's an issue, guys. You really shouldn't be getting like you get like hit markers out the ass. Like, actually, I took 3 shots on a guy, and it was just hit marker, hit marker, hit marker. And usually, if you don't get a headshot in this game, it might be like a hit marker to the waist or like lower stomach, and then chest is a 1 hit most of the time, and the head is of course is a 1 hit, and the legs are 2 hits. So that like, the snipers are even fast to kill, but on a laggy connection, it could be up to 5 hits on a sniper, which is ridiculous to say the least. This isn't some kind of first-person shooter where the enemies have like all crazy amounts of health. Like no, these are just everybody's 100 health, everybody's willing to be taken down. Now, one interesting point in this game that's not like Call of Duty or like any other first-person shooter you probably have seen, this kind of has reminiscent of Battlefield in it, where there are health packs after you kill someone, they drop a health pack worth 25 health. So let's say you kill a guy like really close to you, and he dies, he'll drop a 25 health pack. And it's kind of like Battlefield where the medics can throw health packs, but this is different. This is for every time you kill somebody. You could run up to them and grab their health pack. As you can see, there's a little red square under me. That's the health pack. Now, if you see one of these and you're full on health, you can't get 125 health. So don't try to think you're gonna get Juggernaut. Like you're not. But it's nice. That's a nice feature. But the one problem they have is there's no health regeneration. So let's say you're going on a tear, and just say you're sniping, but you're going on a tear, and some guy keeps on nicking you in the shoulder every once in a while, and he doesn't kill you, just gets you a little like a hit, and there's like 20 points of damage, 20 points of damage. You can't like hide in the corner and wait for your health to come back, which kind of makes this a very fast-paced game, but it also causes a lot of assists. You get a ton of assists in this game. It's to the point where, like, even if you shoot at a guy and he runs off, and some of the guys puts 1 bullet into him, boom, it's an assist. You might get like, you know, +7 or +5 or something, and he gets another +3 or +5, but it's still, that could have been your kill. Like, and that's just the thing. It's going to be somebody else's kill. It's going to be, like in Call of Duty, they have a feature where it's like if you do most of the damage to the guy and the other guy like finishes him off, you get most of the points. But I think in this game it only goes up to 0.5. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's only 0.5 and 0.3. So you do get a lot of missing from that. It's not like boom, right on the money, I want to get my points. It's kind of more of a you're going to be iffy on it. So I advise, if you have a poor connection, if you live on the East Coast, if you're not on the West Coast, if you're in middle of the United States for the servers, I advise you go to the West Coast servers and just try to see how your connection fares with it. If you are on the East Coast, you better have a damn good connection, is all I gotta say. Living on the West Coast, the game runs perfectly, guys. It runs like the very beginning, the older Call of Duties, the beginning of the online Call of Duty franchise, like COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, like, and World at War. It kind of runs like those. You're not very clunky, you're very fast, the connections are good if you can connect to the right host, and it's a great game, and the problem is just that there's no more people playing it. There are a good amount of people. If you hit the West Coast, you see there's a lot of games, but it's really hard to find, just to be pressed to find a good amount of people playing the game to the point where you can get a good amount of hosts anywhere in the country. So that's Arctic Combat, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. This is the first episode of Is It Overrated, where I give you my opinions and tell you guys if the game is overrated or not. My opinion of this game, personally, is if you can find a good host, if you can get a good connection to the game, it's not overrated. It's worth it. But if you can't, guys, it's done. So that's it, guys. It'll be a waste of your time if you don't have a good host, a good connection. You might take you like a whole clip just to kill somebody. So guys, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed the new series, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.